Advisory Committee. The members of the Colorado House of Representatives express heartfelt sympathy to the family and friends of Jill Rosentrader on their great loss and thank them for supporting her dedicated service to the state of Colorado. This tribute is signed on February 25th by Mark Ferrandino, Speaker of the Colorado House of Representatives. And I want to present it today. Thank you.
I'm going to introduce you. Do you want to?
That would be wonderful.
Okay, thank you very much, Representative Young. There is also another David here, obviously, right now, who is very special in Jill's life. And it is her husband, David Rosentrader. Jill was, in 1988, the Greeley Cultural Affairs Director. David, we're so happy to have you here, and we're looking forward to your words. Thank you. Thank you.
During her tenure here as the Director of Cultural Affairs, Jill reported to mayors, city managers, city council members who all had a very broad and wonderful vision for Greeley. One of her responsibilities in her job was to coordinate the collection of private donations for the Union Colony Civic Center. Then she continued with the construction, opening, programming of this center. Today's celebration is a recognition of history. Jill respected and deeply knew the importance of history. Her friends, her co-workers worked with her as many worthwhile and loving volunteers in an effort to bring this community and its hundreds of citizens a wonderful facility. She studied, she learned, she cherished the history of the Union Colony. As the colonists embraced the arts and culture in this utopian society which was founded years ago, that became Jill's legacy, her love of arts, her love of culture. The things that bring meaning or beauty or laughter or joy to our lives, that was her goal. She knew instinctively the weight of these values in our society. I feel she would be very pleased today with prosperity and the promise of the center. I'm also certain you hold the history of Jill as a tender and lasting memory, her history. She pushed and pleaded, she promised and persuaded, she participated and permitted the arts and culture of Greeley to spill out over the edges of our dreams.
When I think about people such as Jill and David and some of the others we're going to hear about today, it reminds me of one of my favorite quotations from George Bernard Shaw, the famous playwright, who said, "We use a mirror to see our faces, but we use the arts to see our souls." Thank you, David. Now let's welcome Marilyn Gabrandt, the wife of Carl Gabrandt, the former director of the UNC Opera Theater and the Greeley Chorale. Marilyn?
Good afternoon. Carl came to the University of Northern Colorado in 1983, where he was hired as Director of Opera Theater, voice professor, and graduate student advisor. We had just moved from Louisville, Kentucky, where we had a beautiful civic center complex and enjoyed wonderful entertainment. Upon arriving in Greeley, we began hearing about the proposed art center that would serve and benefit the entire community. I was invited to be on a committee to build awareness for the arts, including financial involvement. We handed out flyers and buttons, spoke to service clubs, went to farm shows and arts picnics, and called local community members asking for donations. People were waiting to be asked to contribute. Through the generosity of the community, approximately $1 million additionally was raised for this beautiful UCCC. I told Carl I was doing this project for him. Someday he would showcase his musical groups in a beautiful city venue where all ages would come to celebrate as well as participate. In 1987, Carl was chosen as the conductor of the Greeley Chorale. The next day he held auditions, which had been previously arranged, including one for me. Imagine, I had to audition for my husband. Later, the chorale members teased me by saying, "Ah, I know how you got in. You've been sleeping with the conductor." That's true. The following year, 1988, the UCCC celebrated its opening. The chorale was the first musical group to perform on this stage. We helped test the acoustics that summer and then sang the national anthem on opening night. Carl was so thrilled to be able to conduct on this beautiful stage with his beloved chorale. In the years that followed, Carl conducted, performed, directed, and emceed in this beautiful, magnificent venue. He directed his UNC operas. He conducted male chorus concerts. He performed as a baritone soloist. He conducted the Greeley Chorale concerts. He was honored on this stage when he received the Arts Alive Award, and his opera theater students performed every year at the UNC Gala event in February. Over the past 25 years, my whole family has been intertwined with the UCCC. I have been a member of the Greeley Chorale since 1987. My daughter Lene and my son Gregory have performed with the Greeley Chorale, the Greeley Philharmonic Orchestra, the UNC Opera Theater, and the UNC Concert Choir, all on this beautiful stage. Lene was the first bride to book her wedding reception in the Two Rivers Lounge upstairs. Now, she has 4 children, and they have been coming to watch performances for the past 19 years. It truly has been a family affair. The UCCC has given my family opportunities to celebrate some of life's most precious moments. These will live forever in our hearts and in our minds. The UCCC is a gift that keeps on giving. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Instrumental music has always been, well, instrumental in the Civic Center's offerings of performances. And here to speak on behalf of her late husband, Bob Johnson, leader of the Cream of the Crop Band and the Kiwanis Club of Really Big Swing Band, is Sally Johnson.
To celebrate and have fun with 25 years at the Union Colony Civic Center. To celebrate and to remember is the greatest gift. It took a lot of dedicated people that you've heard about today to make this hall a reality. I remember Bob going to meetings and coming home sometimes discouraged, sometimes hopeful. When it finally happened, we couldn't believe our good fortune. We knew it would be great, but we had no idea it would be this wonderful. Since we are both musicians of sort, we especially enjoyed the wonderful music we have heard over the years. The Greeley Philharmonic was and is very special to us both. We've missed very few performances over this 25 years. We've even had the same seats for most of that time. You can't help but have a feeling of ownership. It's sort of like a home away from home. We both remember the years when the Philharmonic played in the Gunter Hall gym. You can imagine how exciting this hall is. Music was great, but the hall was interesting. As you know, Bob's passion was the swing band, the cream of the crop. Sometime in the early years of the Civic Center, his band, I'm not sure if it was the cream of the crop or whether it was just the Kiwanis band that eventually evolved into the cream of the crop, but they performed in the hall. I remember how excited he and the boys were over the pit elevator. They just knew they had really hit the big time. Now, Bob told me, I swear he told me, but I may be remembering incorrectly, that they were the first band to use that elevated lift. Somebody else told me that wasn't exactly true, but in any case, I've just often wondered how many times they rode up and down that elevator in that first rehearsal. We both have appreciated the attention the Civic Center has given to the young people of Greeley. At the grand opening celebration, there was a program called The Entertainers, Area Guys and Dolls Come Home. We were both very proud that our daughter Nancy was one of those performers. Bob was also often involved with the Kiwanis Stars of Tomorrow. It has been a great experience for all these young people to perform on such a big and lovely stage. There have been many young musicians from Greeley that have gone on to have careers in music. We can be very, very proud. Bob would be wishing you all the best for the next 25 years. Wonderful things will happen. More memories to be made. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sally.